Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Eddie, I'm going
got
old school.
Yeah, I know, I like that.
You're too
How
tall
weird
for
is
me.
it? What is the time?
It's 7:10 at night.
No, it's not.
It is.
Is it? That is unbelievable. I'm ready for bed.
No, this is
I know, I'm ready for bed.
interview.
Yeah, amazing. It's quite good. I love the prime time UK as well.
Yeah.
Good night, good performance from both guys. Big respect to Liam Williams. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, he was absolutely spanked for the first 3 rounds, wasn't he? And he couldn't miss him. And he got off to a nightmare start, but he come back in the fight, had a really good 4th round, and hurt him in the 9th round as well. And I was worried. I had Francis Warren next to me going mental, and I actually thought, wow, he might get him here. And Liam should be proud of his performance. Demetrius is outstanding. But he needs the big fights. He can't make 160 forever. You saw his tank just weren't there. Maybe his punch resistance weren't as good as it should have been. So if you're these other champions, Jamal Charlo and Golovkin, you've got to be looking at this guy saying, I can take his belt. But we shall see.
Well, I want to talk about obviously the other champions, because you mentioned them in the in-ring interview, but you mentioned that Andrade got hurt in the 9th round. Now he looked tired throughout that fight and stuff like that. You said to me yesterday that maybe he needs a bad performance for these champions to go.
I think
nobody
so.
wants to fight him.
Firstly, I don't think it was a bad performance. I think it was a good performance, but he didn't look like he had the tank. We know he's a massive 160. I don't think he took the. And I don't want to speak badly about his preparation, but I just don't think he prepares in the 100% right way for guys that he knows can't beat him. There was a bit of spite in this fight, and I think, don't get me wrong, that upped his performance, but 3 rounds, absolutely razor sharp, looked like a pound for pound king, didn't he? And then just started getting flat. You could tell he was tired, you could tell he struggled to make weight, his punch resistance probably wasn't as good as it should have been. So the fact that he's won, those champions, I think if he would have stopped Williams inside 3 rounds, we wouldn't have had a chance. Charlo and Golovkin just go, but Gennady Golovkin, I work with Gennady Golovkin, I love him to pieces. I think he's a favourite against Demetrius Andrade. Jamal Charlo, I think he's a favourite against Jamal after that performance tonight. So if you're a champion, I just feel like you should be looking to fight the champions. Gennady's talking about a fight with Murata on December 31st. Do this one in the summer. Unify then, unify again, and maybe an undisputed fight with Charlo next, or Charlo. Get rid of Montiel or whatever that fight is. Yeah. Fight Demetrius in the summer. It's a big pay-per-view fight on your platform. 2 brilliant American world champions. That's what we should be getting. I really don't get it, and I'm hoping they would have watched that and go, "Oh, okay, he's beatable." But Liam did a lot of that. If Liam didn't keep coming forward and getting chinned and getting his head torn off by an uppercut and just keep on coming, you wouldn't have seen that. So he deserves a lot of props as well.
Definitely. Well, like Manik said in that ring, it's your job to make these fights happen. I know you've got a tough job.
But also, I get really pissed off and I go, what has Demetrius got to do? No, fuck all. He's a champion. Do you know what I mean? He said in his interview, I ain't got to do nothing. You should want to fight me. Yeah. If you're a champion, you should want to face the champions. It's really frustrating. It is my job, and it's very difficult. It's probably the hardest fighter I've ever had to match for. But I'm hoping people might have looked at that and gone, okay, he's really good and he starts well and he's slippery and he's awkward and he's clever, but he got a bit hurt, he looked a bit tired, he's beatable. So I'm going to try and beat him.
Let's do it. Well, I'll go down the card. I want to just go straight to Majidov now. He hit my interview with him. He said that he's beat Joshua once, he'll do it again. He seemed very up for facing these Dillian Whites and stuff like that. Now, the ankle injury, I don't know too much of it.
I know he broke his ankle in 2 places apparently, but the first knockdown was super heavy. I mean, I was watching it and I knew he was sort of holding his ankle, but I just thought he was sort of buzzed and concussed, and I want to give credit to Fedosov as well, but how he got up from the first knockdown to try and carry on, but he couldn't stand up. I mean, when they took his boot off, it was all over the Swanee, and very brave, but catastrophic defeat. I mean, 1, the defeat, but 2, the injury. It's going to take him a year to come back from that industry if it's a super bad break, and he ain't got the time to do that. So we'll have to see where he goes from here. Of course, massive win for Fedosov. Winner stays on, as they say, and we're going to put him in some big fights as well. So welcome to the show.
Gongora, I know Canelo wants every single belt in that. IBO might not be considered a world title, but he wants every belt. Is that
it's hard, the IBO, because I really like the IBO. IBO is a world championship, right? Let's get that clear. It's just not one of the main ones, and it's not one that fans or broadcasters sometimes associate with a genuine world championship. But it is a world championship. It's a bit like James Tennyson fighting. You know, you're not going to hear me screaming and shouting that James Tennyson's world champion, because I'm an old school fan who believe that the main 4 belts are those belts. But I respect the IBO. It's coming on strong, and they're a very credible organisation. So I don't think Canelo is going to be beating Plant, or if he beats Billy Joe and then looking at Gongora saying, I must get the IBO. Yeah. It's generally a belt that comes with the unification fights because somebody else has it. So I think Gongora is a very good fighter. You know, another very convincing performance tonight. I want to see the rematch with Akhmedov because it was a thrilling fight. But he'll fight anyone, and I think he's a very good fighter. Going through the card, stunning fight with Ofer Jones against Castaneda. I mean, you saw. So sometimes you sort of choose the ones to go on TV, and I probably should have put that on TV, but I think they're putting it on our YouTube tonight. Ofer will be back, but big win for Castaneda.
Tough for Ofer.
Tough, it was. But you know, you've got to be good enough, and you know, and if you can't beat Castaneda's a good fighter, and he's going to be in some great fights. I actually want him to fight Biaslanov next. But if you can't beat Castaneda, how far are you really? You know, how quickly can you move? How far are you going? It's okay. Ofer will take his defeat. He'll come back. I said to Andy, you know, with this global platform on DAZN, this is its own sort of network. It's its own UFC, if you like. So if you're Castaneda, you've just entered that network. Yeah. So now you're going to get opportunities in Mexico, in Spain, in Italy, in UK, in Australia. And if you're Ofer Jones, you're going to have to travel for another opportunity. But you've got no choice, mate. And he is a good fighter, and he showed plenty of heart. Espino was good. Like to see him be a little bit sharper in there tonight. Ponte, good win. That was a cracking fight as well before the TV transmission. So, yeah, all in all, good. And we move on to a really big show in Barcelona next Friday.
Yeah, well, you booked down the Barcelona card for me yesterday, but just Castaneda, he told me he wants to move down to featherweight, 130. Featherweight. And I asked, no, feather, 130.
That's 126 is feather.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, 130, don't worry about it. Hey, listen, you know the numbers.
130 super feather. Yeah. I mean, he's tall.
Yeah, he's bigger than taller than me.
I think he looked like a big 135 pounder, but you know, we'll see. Again, like I said, entered the network and on he goes. Fedosov entered the network and on he goes. So and you're going to see guys fighting harder to get in. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you get a Castaneda, he's thinking, fuck me, excuse my language, if I win tonight, but I'm, as you know, I know winner stays on gets a bit boring, but the same thing. And now he's thinking, you know, and if you get that opportunity, you go again. Fedosov, he's walking around going, I can't believe it. I'm going to get a big fight now. And that's once you get into that circle. But if you're part of that circle now, if you lose, it doesn't just mean that you're out. Yeah. It means you might have to take tougher opportunities. You might have to take opportunities in other countries. But you still box on that in that world.
Now, I'll go on your Instagram Live. I always write to you, never get back to me, but it's neither here nor there. But you said 6 days or 6 to 10 days, I think it was, that you said that there might be an announcement on.
Oh yeah, I don't know,
and stuff like that. Are you just making
because people are saying to me, tell us how long. Yeah. So I said, I don't know. Give us how long do you reckon? I don't know. I think 6 to 10 days is a safe.
That's a safe bet.
But I keep telling you, you know, it's not like nothing's happened. They've signed the contracts to fight. We had to present them on the last Sunday with the offers that we've had. Everybody agreed on this particular offer that come in. We move forward, we say to that country, we're in, please let's move forward and finalise the contract. Done. That's all going forward. There's contracts going backwards and forwards tonight to Top Rank and to our lawyers and to AJ, and we are, you know, I don't want to be too
smiling
brash.
At least.
I don't want to be too brash because everyone said I couldn't do it and I wouldn't do it. So just in case something catastrophic happens, I'm saying nothing. But be warned, if this gets over the line, I may be unbearable. Just putting it out there.
We know.
But anything can happen. So I'm saying nothing. And I'm just going to graft my nuts off. I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to take every obstacle, every hurdle head on. And I'm going to overcome every one. I'm going to get it made.
Well, we know you're going to be unbearable. Did you watch Tyson Fury on Max Kellerman?
No.
He basically said that, again, I don't know if he's playing mind games, that if it's not AJ in the summer, he can't hang about for AJ.
He won't do it. No, he won't. Yeah. It's in the summer. Yeah. And by the way, if it's not in the summer, then AJ ain't hanging around for it either. They'll fight different people.
Definitely going to be
definitely in the summer. Yeah. There's no talk about this fight happening in September, October, November. So 2 fights this year. That's it.
Well, I want to say this because it's just a random question. You talk about the UFC and DAZN, and I know you met with Dana White and stuff like that. Now, Tyson Fury on Max Kellerman as well said, fighting Ngannou, he wants to beat AJ, and then
Yeah,
I can't remember the word he used, and smash
Ngannou.
Yeah. But if AJ wins, would you like to see that crossover between Ngannou, Nigeria, and stuff like that? That's a big fight.
I wouldn't see AJ in the cage because he's,
in
he's
the boxing
a boxer.
ring,
Yeah, but I think so. I mean, that's up to AJ at the end of the day. He's just focused on being undisputed. He's not really into WWE or UFC. He just wants to go down in history as a great boxer. And obviously, the pinnacle of that is becoming an undisputed champion.
You mentioned the Spanish card. Just break that down quickly for me for people that.
Yeah, I mean, as again going into this network that we live in now. Big card in Barcelona on next Friday night on DAZN. You've got April Hunter going over there fighting a tough opponent, but the three main fights, Kerman Laraja against Jez Smith, fucking brilliant fight. Jez has got a great chance in that fight, but the two European title fights, Gavin McDonnell taking on European champion Adonis Gargo, and also Kay Prosper gets a shot of a lifetime against Sandor Martin. So that's what we're looking to do. You know, like I said, Gavin McDonnell, Jez Smith, Kay Prosper, they're not the big headline guys that are getting the opportunity to fight in the UK. They've been beaten before, well, Gavin McDonnell and it. So therefore, you go on the road, mate.
Yeah.
And you're getting your big chance in our world, but on the road, in the away corner. And victory in the away corner is super sweet. And Steffi Ball and that, they right fancy it. Gav's got a great chance. Kay Prosper's a good fighter. Jez Smith, no one gives him a chance. Tell you what, cheeky outsider.
Yeah. Well, it's 7:25, Eddie.
I don't know whether to have a beer or go to bed.
Let's have a beer. No, you're having a beer. Come on.
Okay, 7:30. I think I can have one.
Right, we can have one. Just the two fights in May. They're on the card. May 8, Kieran Conway on that show.
Yeah.
And Canelo, what a gig for him. And May 15, you said
will be announced. Yeah, we're supposed to announce Friday, but I'm just waiting to finalise Boatsi's opponent for May 15th. May the 8th, Soto, our Mexican world champion, will defend against Takayama. Frank Sanchez, the heavyweight, will fight Aguilera. Keyshawn Davis, Mark Castro on the card, and a breathtaking 154-pound Kieran Conway against Suleiman Sissoko. I mean, what a chance for Kieran Conway. He actually accepted to fight Jesse Vargas on that card, but we couldn't get it done, and Sissoko stepped up. We talked about that fight before. I want to get all these guys, all our guys, globally, in all our weight classes fighting each other. We've got to make Cheeseman Fowler. That's the UK fight, right? But this is a great example of who have we got at 154? We've got Kieran Conway, we've got Suleiman Sissoko, bosh. What an opportunity for both. Canelo undercard, 70,000 people, great fight, and on we go.
Right, let's go and have a beer then.
Off we go.
Cheers.